Hello everyone, Malphite here, and here it is. Here are the news. Vitality is letting go. I don't know what that was, but Vitality is letting go of Humanoid. And in this video, I will talk about why I believe that there is no better move. No better move. There's a single best move that you could do here. And that is to replace Humanoid with Nemesis for the LEC summer split. Now, all right, like don't eat me alive yet. I know there's probably a lot of things that you're starting to thinking about. Let me just start by saying, first of all, I don't even know why they are getting rid of Humanoid. Okay, let me just open with this, right? Because I didn't really acknowledge this part. I don't even know why Team Vitality is getting rid of Humanoid. Obviously, the team did not perform to, let's say, the expectations, right? Although we sort of expected that, again, the top three would be G2, KC, and Koi. Or MKoi, I should say. But still, right? Like, what's the reason behind letting Humanoid go? I mean, he was benched in Fnatic. Then Vitality took him. There was a synergy with him and Karzi, right? The Czech brothers being reunited, the former Mad Lions roster together. Now he's sort of being benched again. Now, we know that Humanoid, okay, like we heard it so many times, right? He's washed. He's a paycheck stealer. He's always getting like a really good paycheck, then ends up being benched and then just like chilling, right? And gets like a lot of money because of the German labor laws and everything in the LEC. Maybe it's true. I'm not saying it's not true, right? I'm not seeing behind the scenes. I do not know why this is happening. Maybe everyone starts to hate Marek after working with him in the rosters. But also we heard from people working with these players, like Yamato Cannon, right? Or some other players involved with rosters that had Humanoid in it, is that, okay, maybe his attitude is not the best. He's a bit phlegmatic, right? Tends to maybe give up on the rosters if things are not going well. But also, this roster seems that, you know, it has that vibe. It has the Karzi Humanoid duo, and Humanoid actually seemed to do pretty well. Even in the regular season games, he was doing quite good. There were some stats that he wasn't doing very well at, but also there are stats where he was doing really, really well. So overall, if you average his stats, he was like the middle pack midlaner. Obviously, it's quite tough to be at the top when you still have players like Caps, like Yahoo, like Jojo Pyun, right? And then there's still the strong middle of the pack with players like Jackies, and there's also Poby, obviously, right? Which is another quite strong team that emerged, right? With Navi having the really successful roster rebuild. So actually mid lane in LEC, at least at the top half, is quite stacked. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be that Humanoid is so much worse than he used to be. It also could be that the level of the mid lane sort of rose, right, in the LEC. Because really, if you think about it, if you look back in the day, we had Perks and Caps. And those are really the two standout players. Then, I mean, of course, we had Humanoid and Larson era, right? Then we had Vladi popping off with KC for a season, now not looking that hot in Fnatic. But really, Caps has been the only sort of a player that has been there at the top year by year. And sort of the other players sort of peaked and fell off a little bit, starting with Perks, then with Nemesis. But this is also sort of what I'm getting at, is that Nemesis didn't really fall off, right? He sort of quit at a high. He sort of quit at a peak. He was kicked out after being arguably the best mid laner at the Worlds, right? They were up against top esports. There was that reverse sweep, the Shocks curse that we remember very, very well, and he was doing great. I mean, not all the games, but it's crazy to see a player go with a really, really strong Chinese LPL team in the quarterfinals, or I think it was quarterfinals, take them to 5 games and then just be kicked. And also we know that that team was not functioning very, very well. But that's not what the video is about, right? The video is about, okay, this change has happened. We don't know why. I mean, there were complaints from the players. There are some things that are wrong with the coaching staff. But the coaching staff investigated themselves and found nothing wrong. So someone had to go, and Humanoid is the scapegoat once again. Will this bury his career forever? We don't know. I mean, he's still a really good player, but he's also made a lot of money. We'll have to see what is in store. That's not what the video is about, once again. It's about Nemesis. So why is it the best move for both Vitality and Nemesis to play together in LEC Summer 2026? I'll start with Vitality. Why is it the best for Vitality? So Vitality is a huge esports organization, right? So, I mean, if we just look at their CS team, right, the CS2, that's really where they're getting all their money. The success of their CS team has pulled so many fans, so many sponsors, right? And that's why already a rich organization, I mean, Team Vitality is notoriously known as a rich organization. Now they had a really, really successful run with their CS team, and so they are doing quite well just through that CS team. They want to translate this also into success in the LOL scene. However, they don't have that many fans. If you look at the LEC, there's G2. There used to be Fnatic. Now Fnatic is not doing that hot. And then there's KC, and then there's MKOI. And if you think about the other teams, they have literally no fan base, right? Like almost no one is a fan of these other teams, including Team Vitality. So how do you get more fans? Well, do you remember the winter split, right, where LR was part of this? You could say LR was up there when it came to like number of fans, number of supporters, because these teams that have a lot of supporters, right, they have the huge streamers, the huge communities behind them. You have Ibai, you have Kameto, and with LR, there was Cadril. And so suddenly you have these 100,000 average viewers or something. All depends on what you're watching, right? I mean, if you're watching LECs, maybe not 100,000, but you have these viewers, live viewers, these eyeballs that are attracted to and they join the Cadril stream. In LR, everyone was a fan, right? We were all watching. I still am an LR fan. If there ever will be something like a reunion, it will be great. Now, it was a great project. We'll probably know that some of the players are doing their own thing and have moved on about that in another time. But LR was a hugely, immensely successful project. And Nemi has only became more successful and more popular through LR. Now, if you are a Vitality, you want the fans. This is an easy way to get the fans. Like so many, like if now 100,000 people will cheer for you, right? Nemesis will join and this team will try, because they're trying to make worlds. But I think only 3 teams, unless there's some rule that if you win MSI, maybe you can get 4. I'm not sure. I'm not going to speculate. It's very unlikely. Anyways, there's only 3 teams in LEC that will make the worlds. And the most likely, that is going to be G2, KC, and MKOI, right? The G2 and KC, I don't really think you are beating that. It's just they've been really, really good. They've been the rivals, right? But MKOI has been looking a bit shaky. And so if you are going to make your way to Worlds, there is a possibility. There is a way. It's not impossible. It's going to be tough. It is. But if you pick someone like Nemi, it's going to do so much better. You're going to do so much better PR-wise or fan-wise when it comes to your supporters. Suddenly, every Kato stream when Vitality is playing, when he's co-streaming, he will be cheering. He will be absolutely going crazy, and all the fans will be going crazy for Team Vitality. Even cheering for Team Vitality when playing against the titans like G2, KC, and MKOI. You can get such a huge fan base. And yeah, most likely, Nemi would leave the team, right? Unless you like go and have a crazy Worlds run and like win Worlds or something, and he reignites his passion for pro play or something in this way. Most likely, Nemi would leave after the summer split. But some fans would stay. And you will not get this deal, you will not get such a deal with any other player out there. There is no player out there that is as popular and as loved. By the way, shout out to Kadel, shout out to Nemi for really turning around this narrative and showing the world how great Nemi of a player is. Now, we know that there's still a bit of this narrative that he has some attitude issues and everything, but I mean, come on. Like, we've seen it with so many players. Like, we could be questioning the same thing, right? We could be questioning Humanoid about this as well. So this is just an esports thing. I think it's very common, and some, I mean, it's just very likely that it will happen to you, that somehow you will become a victim of some sort of a narrative, whether it is true or not, right? I don't want to make any claims. We know Vitality was previously interested in Nemesis in some of the iterations of the teams. I'm not sure exactly what year. So there is some also history here. Now, this is just a PR argument. There's a second, even bigger argument for Team Vitality, and that is there is no better player than Nemesis to get. Like, if you think about it, there actually is not a better player. There is not a better player in Europe available. You could make an argument for Caps, you could make an argument for Jojo, and that's about it, right? Like, yeah, you could get some South Korean midlaner, right? As KC did with like Yahoo. But also the rest of KC is very, very solid. They have been sort of building this core of the team. Now, I don't know how just, a very talented, mechanically, South Korean player would mesh with Team Vitality. Maybe you could get like Zinni. You could buy like Zinni from Shopify and just hope that the slump will just be gone and Zinni will start performing like crazy, right? How he did in LCKCL. But also LCKCL is not LEC, and you sort of have to make sure there's no language barrier. Now, it's quite tough with these players. So again, either get someone like Zinni, who has probably been learning some English, but you will have to buy him out somehow, or get some sort of a deal in Shopify. Shopify probably doesn't want to lose such a player. It's their star player that they managed to get, so that's probably not happening. So who are you getting? Just some really good mechanically skilled kid from South Korea? Or are you gonna get the best possible mid laner that's really, really good? I mean, Nemesis is really, really good. I mean, just think about LR. LR was sort of this meme team. Now, I'm not saying Reckless is not an LEC level support, but if you didn't look at the name and the achievements and the hype and the PR behind it, like you would probably not pick Reckless. Maybe into the like lower level teams, but Baus is not an LEC level top laner, but the team made it work, right? Same for Velia. Like, Velia probably cannot compare to the top junglers in the LEC, and Crowny, although really, really strong and probably an LEC level AD carry, again, probably not quite there skill-wise, at least a top level, like let's say Hansama or Kalist, or Karzi, by that manner. But again, quite a good player. Just LR made it work, and they made it work by allowing the team what they wanted to do, and also Nemesis to do what he wants to do. So the PR is insane, the best you can get. The skill is insane, the best you can get. So there's no other option. If I'm Team Vitality, Nemesis is my number one choice. Now, why should Nemesis join? Nemesis has a huge stream. He's a streamer, first and foremost, right? He makes a lot of money, right? He's a millionaire, for sure. He has so many viewers. He makes content, right? If you stop doing this, you will fall off. That's just how it works in the media world, right? Like, people will forget. Like if Nemesis just takes a break now and stops for 3 months, don't get me wrong, he will not completely become irrelevant, but he will fall off. He will lose some of those viewers, and they will start watching someone else or move on and so on. However, that would be the case if he took a break. So that would be the case if he just stopped streaming and disappeared from the world of League of Legends. But that's not going to be the case, because he will appear on the screen of Cadril, the official LEC broadcast, and countless other co-streamers every week. And, will be part of other content pieces with even more viewers that tune into his stream, watching and supporting him. There's going to be even a bigger funnel, so he can sort of double dip, right? All the fans he got through LR. But you can make also an argument that he already got the fame and the success and the hype through Cadle and through LR. But this is something new. This is something exciting, right? And I think it's a perfect opportunity for Nemesis, because this is not a commitment for a year. This is not something like LR where okay, I have to do this for a year or something or more. In LR, they were allowed to stream, right? So that was also why they did it. Maybe in Team Vitality, he would not be allowed to stream. But the LEC split is like 2 months long. Maybe it's like 3 months if you are also have like a month to prepare, or like month to scrim, right? Because you want to sort of start well, right? You don't want to just go and then lose a bunch of games. And then it would only be longer than 3 months if they made the Worlds. And if you make Worlds, I mean, everyone wants to make the Worlds, right? Like, that's the craziest thing. And then I'm sure he wouldn't mind. He wouldn't mind making Worlds. And the thing is, you can actually have a shot. Like, if you think about it, what teams could have a shot at getting that third spot, right? Because let's just assume that G2 and KC are locked already. What team could actually make it? Well, MKOI is the favorite, right, for the third spot. But if not MKOI, well, who is there? I mean, it could be Navi. They have Poby, right? And they were sort of challenging. They're sort of like these rookie challengers. But they were not quite there, right? I mean, they're a strong team. They beat like the bottom half teams. They beat the SKs and the Shifters and everything. And, Fnatic has also been quite worse. But if you think about a team that has been showing the potential, it's Team Vitality. And the thing is, I cannot think of a mid laner, maybe again just some talented, mechanically skilled player from South Korea, could potentially be an upgrade over Humanoid. You never know, right? It's sort of like 50-50 coin flip with these Korean imports. But there's no player I can think of that is an upgrade to Humanoid other than Nemesis. And so just put Nemesis on this roster. He's really, really experienced. He's really good at playing, everything. His champ pool is an ocean. It's a champ ocean. Like, I know I'm glazing Nemesis really hard, but it's true. I am a fan, and I think it's deserved. He's been showing time and time again how great he is. And I think on this roster, he could do some damage, right? You have Nako, arguably, I mean, the rookie MVP, arguably the best mechanical top laner in the league. I'd put him over Kana and over BB when it comes to pure mechanics. Obviously, doesn't have that much experience yet, right? So maybe the macro side is a bit weaker, but I think just working with Nemesis would also elevate your star player in Nako. You have Karzi. I would love to see Karzi play with Nemesis. I think that would be absolutely great. I don't know if Karzi wants to play with him, but I would love to see it. You have Fleshy. Fleshy is solid. He's shown that actually he is an LEC level support. He was playing for some pretty good teams also in the ERLs, so I think that's justified and deserved. On his side, again, I wouldn't say like a very, very star player, but he does the job, and I think for support that's enough, right? Not every support has to be a star support like Keria or Mickey or I don't know, Busio nowadays. Um, my only little worry is Linsas, because Linsas has been, well, I wouldn't say underperforming. It's just that for how hyped he was ever since he came to the league, we never really got to see that sort of crazy potential. You know how, like with, for example, Bo, while Bo was in the league for a little bit, we could actually see how crazy that guy is, and it was just him not really matching with the team and the play style that they wanted to play. But purely as a player, like the carry potential or just like purely skill wise, it was there and it was visible. Like everyone could see it. Like from Linsas, I didn't really get to see this. I mean, there's a spark here and there. But again, not every player has to be the star. If you have Nako and you have Nemesis and you have Karzi, those are your carries, like those are your pillars, and then you just need your jungle support to just play really supportively. And I think, although nowadays the meta is really jungle focused, so your jungle sort of has to be the carry, and you see it sort of in the meta that the teams that have a really good junglers perform really, really well. So we see that with Inspired, just completely rolling everyone, right, in the LCS. We see it with Skewmont and Yike and also, I mean, Elyoya. So like the three best junglers in LEC are sort of running the LEC. We see it in LCK with Honor and Kanavi. We see it in LPL with Shun and Tian, right? So it is really jungle focused meta right now, and so I'm a bit worried for Linsas, but I'm sure with Nemesis you could find a way. Now, why not join the team? I think the coaching staff could be a little bit of a problem. We heard some complaints already. There have been some issues throughout the years, and we know that Nemesis is really, really good if you let him play the way he wants to play and how he wants to play. And I think Carol was really good at this, also with Yamato, and just like managing sort of, you know, the communication to make sure that they can play according to Nemi, but also the rest of the team. And I also believe that you know, so unless like the coaching staff would want to force Nemi into a certain position and make him play in a certain way, because I mean it makes sense, right? You you want to make sure that the team sort of plays the way they've already practiced. So already for two splits from the start of the year, they have been practicing a certain play style and systems. But again, bringing someone in who's potentially, you know, better and could change some things could actually be a really, really good thing for the team. So yeah. So I think if you are going to bring Neme, or if you are thinking about bringing Neme in, maybe don't try to box him in so much, and maybe just allow him to give him the freedom, right? So if you're already bringing in the best player with also the most fans and the most PR, you're just going to do so well for your team. Maybe just, you know, maybe just allow him that freedom. And, you know, this is the only case, this is the only situation where I would understand why to bench Humanoid. There's only one player that I can see why you would bench a Humanoid for, or who would you bench a Humanoid for, and that's Nemesis. So 3 months off from streaming in exchange for a really, really cool experience playing in the LEC, potentially making it to Worlds, and actually having a pretty solid roster to do it with as well. Arguably fourth best team, right? Like fourth or fifth, depending on like if you're counting Navi or not. I mean, GX, I don't know. I think GX sort of fell off, and I think that they will fall off even more now. So I'm not really counting GX anymore into the like top teams or top rankings. So that's like one argument why not join. Also, like if you think it's like too much, if you know, there could be many reasons why not to join. Maybe Vitality doesn't even want Nemesis. That would be a big. I mean, I cannot even comprehend this, because I believe that this would be a big fumble from the Team Vitality side. So, you know, this doesn't mean that it will happen. I just think like this should happen. Like this will be really, really good for the League of Legends. One more thing. Let's see. I mean, I just had like an idea, but I think it's crazy. I don't think it's good. Like I was thinking after seeing Nemi and Jankos play in the LCK, right? Because they're in Korea right now. I just had an idea, like, you know, if Nemi could bring Jankos with him for a little 3-month journey, but then again, I feel like Nemi still has it. I feel like Jankos let it go a little bit. It hurts me to say this because I'm a huge Jankos fan. But I think Nemi should just join. I think changing one player and making it a Nemi is like your best chance to make Worlds. Now I just want to scroll here, and I know I've been talking about this, and I wasn't really scrolling through this article by Sheep Esports. By the way, shout out Sheep Esports. I wasn't really scrolling through his article. I sort of just had Humanoid here while talking about him, but also mostly talking about Nemesis. There's one thing that I wanted to bring to your attention in this article, and that is, and let me find it here. Where is it? Let me find it, like leads. Yeah, leads. It was the word. So, according to sources close to Sheep Esports, the organization has very serious leads in South Korea, and their next Midlaner are expected to come from there. Now, the way it is worded, right, it's most likely not going to be Nemesis, but Nemesis is currently in South Korea. So come from there could be a very clever little trick, right? Clever little writing by Sheep Esports to sort of say their mid laner will come from South Korea. So he will, book a trip from South Korea, not back to Slovenia, but to Germany, to the LEC studio, get some accommodation or something, and just send it with Team Vitality. And I think that would be great, because I mean, a lot better than Jewel, a lot better than Almon, right? And only player better than Humanoid. But I've been yapping for a really long time now, so if you made it all the way here, you're insane. You're amazing, because I'm insane for yapping for so long about this. I didn't even know how I would just make it here. Now I see it's like 28 minutes. Holy moly. Anyways, I think, I think like if this happens, that would be the greatest thing ever. Like, I would become an instant Team Vitality fan. I'm already a Nako fan. I'm already a Karzi fan. I enjoyed Humanoid as well, but I would prefer Nemesis. Just seeing Nemesis again at a top team in the LEC, I think everyone would love that. I think Casual would love it, and we would all, just really bond together to support these teams. So to not make the video half an hour, that's enough from me. Thank you for just watching this or making this far. If you made it this far, I mean, just comment that you made it this far. Show your real real Rock supporter, real Malphite supporter. And that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one, probably talking about the off-season moves in the LEC. Bye bye.